Von Shoshaki's home. A knocking off. Von Shoshaki enters to admit reader. Von Shoshaki. Arthur, so it is you making all this noise. Reader. I left messages with your housekeeper. I knew you got the messages. A beat. Von Shoshaki. As we are no longer in business together, I thought it best not to respond. Reader. Is that what this is all about? Von Shoshaki. Perhaps a cup of tea will calm your nerves. Reader. You never told us the paint was dangerous. You never said a word about it. Not to me, not to Dan, Von Shoshaki. I didn't know. Reader. You didn't know. You invented the paint and you didn't know? How can you lie like that? Von Shoshaki. I didn't know until it was too late, Arthur. Reader. I should put you through that wall. Von Shoshaki. Perhaps you should. But you will not. You will sit down, you will have some tea, and you will calm yourself. Reader. I was not the technical man. You were the technical man. Von Shoshaki. Ja, I was the technical man. Sit down, Arthur. Reader. I sold watches, for Christ's sake. I was a salesman. Von Shoshaki. A good one at that. Very good head for the business you have. Not such a good head for the science, but for the business, very smart. Always you could find ways to cut the cost without losing the quality. That's a gift, Arthur. So, why don't you have some tea? Von Shoshaki hands him a teacup. Reader sees that Von Shoshaki's fingers are black to the second knuckle. Reader. Jesus Christ! What's the matter with your hands? Von Shoshaki. It's been that way for some time. Reader. What? Have you been dipping them in ink? Von Shoshaki laughs. Dipping them in ink? How fond of the pretty story you are. If only it were ink. No. Dr. Martland tells me it's a necrosis of the tissue. The cells, they are dying. Reader stares at him. With the dial painters in the jaw it started, the necrosis. With me, in the hands. Reader. I had no idea. Von Shoshaki. No reason why you should. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Reader. How long? Von Shoshaki. But I've known for a while. Miss Wiley, from the Consumers League, persuaded me to assist Dr. Martland in testing the dial painters for radium exposure. There aren't that many people around, you know, who could measure that kind of thing. So she came to me, knowing I had the equipment and, of course, the skill. I didn't believe her either, Arthur. I didn't want to believe the girls could get sick from working with my paint. I wanted to show her it was a mistake, so I agreed to help. Dr. Martland and I conducted air tests on the girls. It was then that I found out, when my own breath registered radioactive, that my fingers, they began to turn black. Beat. Now, you wish to have words with me. Reader. I'm sorry. Von Shoshaki. Well, perhaps now you should make an appointment yourself with Dr. Martland. Reader. Me? What for? Von Shoshaki laughs. Arthur, you did not notice the glowing dust on your shoes when you went home at night? Reader. How could I miss it? I tracked it all over the house. Von Shoshaki. You can be sure that a good deal of it is now in your lungs. Von Shoshaki produces the bibliography, tosses it to Reader. Look familiar? Reader. It's our promotional piece. Von Shoshaki. An excellent promotion. How many new sales did that book account for? Reader. I didn't track it exactly. I like to think it helped our medical market quite a bit. Von Shoshaki. Page 96. Reader. What? Von Shoshaki. Open it. The last chapter. Read it to me? Reader. The last chapter. Radium. Dangerous effects. Von Shoshaki. Dangerous effects. How many articles do you have listed there? 10? 15? Reader. About 18, it looks like. Von Shoshaki. How far back do they go? those articles? Reader: I don't know. Von Shashaki: look at it. The first one, there. What is the date? Reader: 1906. Von Shashaki: 1906. Now let me see. When you go into court, you plan to testify that you had no idea radium was dangerous? How do you plan to do that, Arthur, when your own book says that it was? How can you claim that you did not know? Reader: I never really read it. Von Shashaki: what's that? A light shifts. As Reader talks, the scene around him shifts to the courtroom. Reader: I never really read it. I hired a man to put it together. I just glanced at the galleys. I never read the book. Barry crosses. Reader remains in his chair, which is now the witness stand. In the courtroom are Grace and Wiley, Mrs. Reader, sob sister, reporter, society woman, and other members of the public.